What is up, YouTube? I am Eric and you are watching Retro Video Game Pickups. In this video, we are going to be taking a Game Boy Pocket and putting a new shell on it. So if you like games, consoles, or product reviews, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification. With that being said, let's hop into it. Okay, so in front of me I have my Game Boy Pocket, the yellow one, which is kind of ugly looking, and then I have the shell, which has the screws and everything needed to basically re-shell this. So this is an easy mod that can be done that can make this look better and also make your screen look better, because this one obviously right here is all scratched up. Stuff is peeling on the back. It's just a beat up system. It's old. So what I'm gonna do is open this bad boy up, make sure that there's not a game in it. I'm gonna take the battery pack off. I'm gonna take the batteries out. Then I'm going to take my tri-wing, which is this one, and unscrew all of those screws. Move this out of the way. Go ahead and unscrew 6 screws here on the back. That way I can do what I need to do to take this apart. Okay, so you can see that I took all these screws out and unscrewed them, and I have taken off the back here. I'm going to set these pieces off to the side. I'm going to keep these screws because I will use these tri-wings when I put on the new shell. But for now, I'm going to set this aside and get a Phillips head. And there are 3 Phillips heads on the back, and I'm going to go ahead and take these off. So now I have taken all 3 of the screws off, and what I like to do is I like to use a screwdriver, and I will pry up this ribbon cable right here and just pry up the plastic. That way I don't break it or force it too much, but then I can just lift the board off and pull it out, and there you have it. It is taken off, and now I have already done kind of some prep work, so I'm going to leave the buttons in there on this one, but I am going to take the screen off, and the screen has been taken out of here before, so it's not really hard to take it out, as you can tell. Just right here I've got the screen. Gotta lay that face down so I don't damage anything, and here is the hollow shell, or at least the front part, of the actual Game Boy Pocket that we are going to work on. So now I'm going to open this up, and I put all the screws in this little bag in the back, so that's there for that. I was trying to decide if I was going to use the buttons from this one or the buttons from the actual system, but the buttons from the actual system are a little like scuffed up, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave those and use the actual ones that came with this shell. So it's not a big deal to do that, but if you do like the feel of the other ones, you may want to check to see how it feels and all that. So now I am going to take the screen and just kind of place it back in there like I had it on the other one, and it looks like it's a little bit different shaped. It doesn't fit exactly, but once I get the board in, it'll adjust in and be fine. Then I am going to take the ribbon cable, put it right back where it was, and make sure that I put the ribbon cable closed in there. That way nothing happens and it does not get loose. So now I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the speaker is firmly planted in there. I'm going to go ahead and push down so that it does fit the actual board and holds in there. I'm going to use some screws from the kit and some screws from the old Game Boy, just because I prefer to have matching screws. And so the screws inside this Game Boy actually on the board weren't matching. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the ones from the kit here. And realistically, you've got 3 screws. You've got 3 on the bottom portion of the board, which is pretty awesome. It's not hard to really screw this in. Just got to be a little careful that you don't screw it in too tight and like strip it or anything like that, because these are small screws. But overall, the board is pretty much intact and back to where it needs to be. And realistically, this is not a hard thing to do. It's really easy, honestly. And so what I like to do is I just take the back cover, place it on the actual Game Boy, and I will test it before I screw everything in, just to make sure I didn't mess anything up. So I have my copy of Pokemon Blue. Go ahead and slide it in there, and turn this bad boy on. And okay, it worked. So what I'm gonna do is take this off, take it out, I guess I should say, take the batteries out, and then I'm going to literally put this thing back together with the tri-wing screws, just so I can make sure that, oh, well, maybe not. Oh, yep, they will work. Okay. At first I was like, oh no, these aren't gonna fit. So I was worried about that. I like the tri-wing just because it's a Nintendo thing, so I want it to look as real as possible. Even though I know it is a fake case, it's not a big deal to me. It looks cool. Now, hopefully in the future I'll figure out how to do the screen mods and backlight them, and I'll show you guys that when I figure that out. I haven't actually done too much of that here lately. I've done it before on some DMGs, the original Game Boys. I haven't done it on a Pocket, and honestly, the Game Boy Pocket is my favorite system for the Game Boy. Either that or the Game Boy Advance, just because they're small, but they all still fit in your pocket, but they also are still comfortable. Don't get me wrong, like the Game Boy Advance SP is awesome, but it's just a little square and a little small for me, and so I'm not a huge fan of it in that regard. Now, I love the screen and everything, and the clamshell design is great. I'm not knocking it at all. I love that thing, but I don't know if it's just because the Game Boy Pocket was my first Game Boy or what it is, but I just love this thing. These things are pretty awesome. I used to have a dark blue one when I was a kid, and now obviously I have a few. So I am doing this to make that look cool. I have one behind me that is already a purple one. It's an atomic purple one, and it looks pretty cool, honestly. But this blue looked really good. It turned out really clear, and I did pick these up on eBay. I believe I picked this one up, but you could pick them up either on eBay or AliExpress or something like that. And these things really aren't that expensive. I think altogether I probably spent 30 bucks, maybe 20. I'll just have to check. I don't really remember, but I know the shell was really cheap. It was like 10 bucks shipped. So make sure you find one that's cheap and that will ship quickly, because sometimes when you do stuff from China like that, it does take forever. So now I have all the screws screwed in, and where's that back plate? We gotta go ahead and put the back plate back in, and then we are gonna test this bad boy. And hopefully it still works. It looks like it does work still. I'm gonna turn this down, but as you can tell, Pokemon is booting up on this bad boy and playing, which is really rad. These things look really awesome, and they don't cost too much to mod it. It doesn't take me very long to do it either. You guys just watched, in less than 10 minutes, I took this apart and put it back together and got it working, and all I did was make the shell a little different. It's pretty cool. Honestly, this is a really awesome system, and being able to change it to this cool see-through blue is really awesome. So with that being said, if you guys want to see more weird and wacky modding videos, I have done a few Game Boy Advances and SPs and Game Boy Colors and original Game Boys. So comment down below if you want to see something else. maybe I'll think out of the box and do another handheld. I'm not sure yet, but this was one that I knew I could do, and I would have a lot of fun doing it. So make sure you comment down below. Don't forget about Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Big Cartel, Patreon. All that stuff is down below in the description. Also, I want to say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you'll see more cool videos like that. So, with that being said, I want to say thank you again for watching, but make sure you have a good day.